So yesterday, the 714 method was quite profitable, right? This was the trade that I actually took yesterday on the 714 method. I wasn't really around my setup, so I couldn't actually make a video on that. So with what we use to actually execute this trade, in the next 2 minutes, I'll be teaching you guys how to use it. It's called the reverse 714 method. So this is it, the reverse 714. It's just a very simple thing. So try your best and pay attention and understand how it works. Now, obviously, you can see that I'm actually leaving this indicator on because a lot of people usually ask where is the 714 method located. So obviously, you already know by the looks of this, you know it's located in the landing session, right? Very, very simple. So let's look at it. Let's analyze what happened. Now, within the 714 method, we can obviously see a very simple thing happen. We were in a downtrend. Now, if you're in a downtrend, normally what we actually want for price to do is to continue shooting all the way up, taking out this highs right here. So at the normal circumstance, we'll be looking forward to doing what? To buying, right? Very, very simple. But before you use the reverse 714 method, two things must be in place, right? One, price must be moving in the same direction as it is within this zone right here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So within this zone, we are in a downtrend. This right here is the 714 zone. Within this zone, that right there is the 714 zone. Now within this zone, we are in a downtrend, and price must be moving in that same direction significantly, right? So when we look closely at it on a larger scale, what are we seeing? We can obviously see that price is moving towards the downside significantly. Price is moving really, really good towards the downside, right? So it's indicating that after this consolidation right here, which is on this trend line, price could possibly continue to push all the way down. Now, this is one. The next thing is price has to give you a better reason to actually continue pushing all the way down. And when you look at yesterday's trade, we had two good reasons. One, price was already at the last order block, which is this range right here. So this is reason one. If price actually takes out this order block, that's a reason for you to sell. The next thing is this trend line right here. So obviously by the looks of it, you realize that we actually have a what? So let me just write this. So we actually have a trend line just right there. So obviously this was a trend line, right? Meaning these are two reasons for us to actually execute a sell trade, because if price actually breaks below this trend line, that is a confirmation that we are continuing to push all the way down. If price breaks below this last order block to another confirmation that we are pushing all the way down. So you see how the reverse 714 method works. It's very, very simple. Within this zone, price might be in a downtrend, but the overall trend has to also be in a downtrend for you to consider using the reverse 714 method. So let's see what happened after the next two candles, right? So obviously you can see that with the last candle, when you look at it, with the last candle, price actually broke through this trend line right here, but we're still in the last order block. So price could actually still push all the way up. But to me, knowing for sure that price was already in a downtrend by looking at the whole trend itself, I already know that this is an execution phase. I can already execute my first trade, which could be a smaller trade or a bigger trade, but I can already execute my first trade with my stop loss just above this last high right here. And I'll be targeting either 1:2 for my first TP and 1:4 for my second TP. But to me, around this range right here was my first TP, and this level, which is 32.92, was actually my last TP. Even though price did not actually get to it, but that right there was my last tip. So this is for those of us who execute trades very, very fast. You could have already been in this trade, right? But that is not the only confluence or the only reason for you to actually be in this trade. Let's look at the other block too. What actually happened with this other block? So let's see what happened. Now, obviously, you can see that price actually broke through that last order block, making this now become a breaker block. I don't know whether you know about this, but when price actually breaks through an order block, it makes it a breaker block. So this now becomes a breaker block. What does a breaker block means? Meaning an order block has been violated. Price has just pushed through an order block, turning this into a resistance zone, meaning price can possibly come back into this range to retest it before continuing. Now, if you're someone who is also waiting for price to do what? To actually do that, right? Meaning a lot of people will be waiting for price to come back for a retest before they execute a trade. So let's see if price had gone all the way back into it. So look at it. You can see the price actually came all the way back into that same zone. That is now testing the what? The breakup block. So those of you guys who are waiting for a confirmation, that right there was your confirmation. At the same time, your stop loss has to go above this high right here. You also calculate your what? 1:2 and 1:4. Very, very simple. So let's see how it happens, because this is about two different traders trading the same what? Trend with different what? Strategies. Because when you look closely, I was already in a trade right here because of a what? A trend line break. Now, sorry this is making this is becoming messy, but I just want you to see something. So this was the same thing. Now look at it. Two different sets of traders, but they are all trading under the same rule, which is the what? The reverse 714 method. And they are just using these things as their confluence, as their what? Confirmations to execute a trade. So let's see what actually happened after the trade, because it was a very nice trade. Price just pushed down massively. Now you see the main reason why you don't put your stop loss just at the tip of other blocks, right? Look at it. You can see price coming back into it, retesting it before finally pushing all the way down. And you can see that your first and second TP could have been hit. Your first TP was around this zone. It could have been hit. Let's just put this thing right there. So let's say your first TP was somewhere here. It could have been hit, right? Very, very nice. Your second TP could have been hit, which is your final TP. Now, I was waiting for price to get all the way down to this zone, but price never did. We had a couple of consolidations before price eventually started to push all the way up massively. So I had to actually close the trade. As you can see, finally got a change of character, but my stop loss was already around here with this trend. My stop loss was already around here. So it's about was it this candle that actually took me out? And that was it for the trade. That was it. I wasn't really going to execute another trade again, so I was done for the day. Easy as that. So you can see how this works, right? Very, very simple. Two different sets of traders, but they are all working under the same movement. They are all trying to catch a simple move, which is this push all the way down. A lot of traders could have also come in, those who actually know how to trade the what? The short bar strategy. I just want to put this in. They would have also come into the market immediately after price gave them this confirmation right here. So let me show you this. Just look at this. Take your time. I think this should be it. All right. So let me show you this, right? So this right here is also the short bar strategy, and a lot of traders that have taught this strategy that actually knows how to trade it, they would have also been in the market around this range right here. They would have also sold just right here with their stop loss at the top of the what? The short bar strategy. Their first TPs at this last low right here, and they'll probably be also targeting maybe 1:2 again or something that looks like this, right? They could have been targeting more just like I was, but they could have also been targeting something that looks like this. And let's see, that trade could have moved into profit or not. It could have also moved into profit. So you can see that these are three sets of traders. The first two set of traders were actually trying to trade with a breaker block and a trend line, and the next set of traders were also trying to trade with the what? The short bar strategy, or the SBS, right? Very, very simple. This is just one of the easiest things that you can do as a trader. Just learn a lot of strategies. Some of the strategies are not really constant, like a trend line strategy is not a constant thing. You can't be getting it every day. But the 714 method is a constant. You can get it every day. Do you understand that? So this is just what I want to tell you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.